best levels in games make us feel like total badasses. You know, levels that get your blood pumping, levels that force you to sit up and start really paying attention. These levels are masterpieces of careful game design, letting the player star in their own, big movie action sequence. These are the best levels we wanted to talk about today, in no particular order, just some of our favorites. Strap in and let's get started off with number 10. One of the best levels from one of the best open world action games from recent memory, the Siege of Yarikawa in Ghosts of Tsushima begins with this ominous sense of dread as you prepare the town for this unrelenting onslaught of the Mongol army. The final mission in one of the Act 2 storylines actually has your fallen samurai hero protecting this village of Yarikawa, and the fortifications are strong, but not strong enough to survive against the Mongols' big siege weapons. Now, as this mission starts, you'll sprint down the hill as burning arrows are being lobbed at the town. The main gates are smashed open, and you're gonna have to cut down swarms of incoming soldiers until your allies can close the gates again. Once you've guarded one gate, then another one breaks open, leading to a massive sword battle on the bridge, leading to the village keep. The number of allies you'll have here is really impressive, and in a game where you're usually riding solo, it's cool, and it makes you feel like you're in the center of a big battle where you're losing control, something like from the Two Towers. And it's not enough to protect the town from soldiers. You'll also use your stealth skills to infiltrate the Mongol camp between assaults. Sneaking past all the archers and the siege weapons just to get in there and really cripple the army's projectile weapons. The whole battle ends with an epic confrontation against one of the Mongol generals in the stronghold's courtyard. This is the first mission you'll unlock that powerful ghost mode ability, so you're essentially able to go hog wild on dudes. It's really a perfect mission to start our list. We got a lot more, so let's keep rolling. Next, over at number 9, the Black Ops 6 single-player campaign is really a series of standout missions, but High Rollers has to be the most badass. So your team is like synced up in this entertaining, punchy little casino heist. You'll do everything here as you rapid-fire swap between different characters, completing different parts of this specific heist job. You'll even play high-stakes poker, while your other ally infiltrates the sewers below on a mission to breach this vault. So things look bad when one of your team is captured by security guys.
Well, what do we have here? Looks like a little sewer rat. Let's talk in private.
But like a classic heist, it's all part of the plan. So Woods, the old timer here at this point, is at the security cameras, and he helps you cheat at poker while you have to make quick decisions on how to cheat yourself by palming cards under the table.
What are you doing?
I'm terribly sorry.
You're making it worse. Leave me alone, huh?
Oh, man. You need a minute?
No. Just go away.
After more shenanigans, including this quick infiltration of the back rooms by your tech guy, then your entire team gets together and converges on the vault. There's an entire armory of weapons to choose from before melting through the vault doors and setting off all the alarms, and then all hell breaks loose. Using a cart full of weapons, you go on this rampage as you defend the security room against an army of incoming mafia bad guys. They're so outgunned, you'll actually feel like a real total badass, and when the heat is on, you'll push the cart full of explosives into the center of the room and then make your escape. It is really like one of the most intense, high-impact missions of the year. It's short and sweet, and with everything we love about a good Call of Duty mission. It's just like a big action movie. Now at number 8, we're going from heart-pounding to haunting, because Red Dead Redemption 2 pulls no punches in the mission Blood Feuds, Ancient and Modern, as your whole entire posse rides out together to absolutely destroy the Braithwaite family, this criminal enterprise that our hero, Arthur Morgan, encounters multiple times in the game. Now, this family has gone too far when they kidnap Jack, one of the kids in Dutch van der Linde's crew. Jack is also, of course, the son of John Marston, the main character from the OG Red Dead Redemption 1. So without hesitation, the entire gang gears up and rides onto the mansion. There's a sense of dread riding out to the mansion, like it's like a coiled spring ready to just snap.
I swear, I'll kill everyone there.
Easy, John. Try to stay calm.
I'm fine.
We know Dutch's gang are capable of some terrible crimes. You know they had a past history of being dastardly dudes, and you get to watch the complete destruction of the family over the course of 10 minutes here. Once Dutch and Arthur are at the mansion, this big shootout begins. You'll need to take cover and pick off snipers from the balcony before sprinting through gunfire to reach the interior of one of the fanciest homes you see in the game. And then the mansion itself is like a death trap with all these crime family gunmen hiding around corners, and you go through each room just kind of like getting into all these little scraps. Eventually, more bad guys show up on horse, turning the siege into defense as you hold back enemy reinforcements from the balcony of the mansion. By the time you leave, the structure is burning down and Dutch is dragging the matriarch out by her hair. It's some real bad shit. All of it is an arresting visual as the camera pans back to show the burning home. While the Braithwaite crime family definitely deserve what they got, it is still a monument that reminds us just how ruthless Dutch and his gang can really be. At the end of the day, they are a gang of outlaws, and this is where you really get to see it. This is kind of like a more serious version of the ending shootout in Django Unchained, and it totally works. Next at number 7, one of the most difficult missions in Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, is also one of the most heart-wrenching. So after BJ has been captured, he's put on public display, then excruciatingly tortured, and then taunted as your nemesis Irene Engel plans to assault the rebel compound that you were working with.
That's it. How does it taste?
It all culminates in a show trial in an elaborately decorated courthouse. And it's where BJ has had enough. He breaks from his chains, he grabs a gun, and gets shooting. The massive courthouse here is in the middle of the Nazi Empire, and you just get like wave after enemy soldiers arriving to stop you. In this, pretty blisteringly fast first-person shooter, you could die pretty quickly if you don't play carefully. And even with the giant machine guns, the number of enemies here is really tough to beat. This is a really challenging section. You'll take the stand with guns blazing as you fight back the worst that this evil German army has to offer. Grabbing guns akimbo and wiping out troopers from like every angle, stuff's exploding, blood's everywhere. This giant arena also has like very limited cover in certain spots, so you have to dodge an onslaught of grenades and the big heavy shotgun blasters from the heavy guys. Super soldiers appear with the laser cannons, forcing you to just stay on the move and constantly scrounge for supplies. It's a lot. It's a super sweaty level, and it's also like this exhilarating action heavy shot in the arm after a pretty depressing sense of frustration and failure from the previous cutscenes and story events. It just works. It's like a real catharsis shootout.
We're gonna go down there now and join in on the fun.
Anya, my family.
Now next over at number 6, Spider-Man 2's darkest moment is also its most fun. And it's a moment we were all waiting for since they teased him at the end of the first game. We all knew Venom would be a big deal in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, but it takes a long time before we actually get a taste of his power. Later in the game, after a bunch of battles against Kraven the Hunter and his goons, Peter is pushed to the very edge, and you finally unleash the Venom symbiote in all its brain-eating glory. But swapping characters to Harry Osborn, the evolved version of Venom has completely taken over, rampaging through Oscorp and swatting away swarms of high-tech soldiers. It is so awesome here. They just let you loose and let you really play as Venom.
Tell the other floors to evacuate.
He's slow, he's chunky, he's powerful, he can leap tall buildings in a single bound. The levels are completely destructible. You're throwing guys through computer terminals, glass windows. It is chaos. The situation just rapidly falls apart as the security forces try to contain this venom, first by locking down the building that you're in, but then when that doesn't work, they send teams of troopers to stop him on the streets of New York as you continue to just wreck shop. The chaos continues into this climactic confrontation with Kraven the Hunter, finally putting that villain to rest and leading to the apocalyptic final chapter of Spider-Man 2. This is a real rush. I mean, we've already spoiled it at this point with what you've seen on here. Venom bites Kraven's head off. Are you kidding me? That is so cool. I don't know. Anyway, comic book nerd, moving on.
Long have I dreamt of a perfect death, drenched in fire and blood. Will you give it to me?
Next over at number 5, it's easily one of the most elaborate levels in video game history. It's the Clockwork Mansion from Dishonored 2. This is like a different kind of badass. It is astounding, the level of detail they put into this cool morphing, transforming level. I don't know. The level itself isn't actually as big as the other ones in Dishonored 2. You know, you're not sneaking through city streets or it's like multiple targets in a giant place. No, it's all located in this intimate, mind-bending mansion that changes itself before your eyes. So after you're going through this whole neighborhood, you enter the mansion proper through its pretty unassuming double doors. The first hallway doesn't look too weird, you know, nothing really crazy, until you reach a showcase with all these gadgets and inventions. Turning the lever transforms this museum into an enormous foyer with double stairs and multiple rooms to explore right in front of your eyes.
Ah, someone's activated one of the mechanisms in my house.
This is also where you can jump between the gears of the mansion and explore the areas that you're not meant to see. The inner workings of like where extra rooms are stored when things flip around, how the clockwork machinery hums. So exploration is pretty dangerous and difficult doing this. Your target actually uses the mansion against you. When you try to confront him, he raises the floor and transforms the room and reveals this really cool killer pair of automatons that take you by surprise. Switches engage to reveal traps like electricity emitting Tesla coils. There's a maze of moving walls where an ally you must rescue is being kept. Look, the most incredible thing about this level is that all these transformations, all these things popping out, are modeled in game. So like you can interact and explore in ways that would be absolutely impossible in other games. I know it's a video game, but essentially the world here in the Clockwork Mansion isn't smoke and mirrors. It feels more like tangible, real moving parts that you can experience. And stuff like this is what makes immersive sims like Dishonored 2 so special. Now at number 4, the creepiest level in Atomic Heart goes out with a bang. Literally, a grenade explosion sends this, seemingly normal level into high gear. This secret complex is located underneath a normal clinic, and it's a nightmare of like weird mutated flora and fauna, filled with some of the most difficult enemies in the game so far. The abandoned hospital grounds are littered with these monstrous plants that have infected the bodies of patients, so they're all like weird. And then the deeper levels of the complex are guarded by the most powerful robots yet. The ones with the faces that split open to fire like these plasma beams. You've probably seen them. This is also one of the most difficult areas in the game, kind of putting your Doom Eternal style combat skills to the test. If you want to escape alive, you gotta dodge and blast your way through this weird complex. But the level gets even stranger at the end. Before encountering your target, you'll pass through a hallway of bizarre red matter, this living liquid that kind of looks more surreal than anything else you've seen in the game so far, and then that's just the start. When a rebel intervenes and drops a grenade, your hero is sent into this like strange kaleidoscope dream world. Your body is replaced with a white fuzzy creature, and like you're just platforming through a hospital in a child's eyes. It's really, really weird. What does it all mean? We can't explain it all here. Just that you'll wake up and fight like a spinning squid machine that's been infected with the red liquid, leading to one of the more intense boss battles in the game. Look, everything in Atomic Heart, it's silly, it's strange, and it's utterly surreal. And it probably makes it one of the best levels of a game that's full of memorable, strange moments for sure. Now at number 3, Chapter 15 is like the catharsis after a long and pretty grueling road through some of the tougher parts of the Resident Evil 4 remake. After taking on 𝐼𝐸, which is its own badass boss fight of course, Leon progresses deeper into the island fortress here, and an impossible series of fortifications blocks him from the center of the stronghold, but thankfully help is on the way. Mike, the helicopter pilot, the GOAT, the legend, he appears and he starts firing missiles. This is one of the most action-packed sequences of any game, as Leon is like ducking and weaving through the trenches as Mike is just going around blasting everything that moves. You'll be fighting dozens of parasite-infected soldiers and taking down anti-aircraft guns and using machine gun turrets to rip a hole in the defenses. This is also the only section of the game where you're able to shoot enemies using turrets and use them for yourself to like just wipe out scores of bad guys. This sequence is crazy. It's literally a war scenario in a Resident Evil game. Missiles are flying, enemies are pouring in, they're exploding, and then there's a helicopter above you strafing and taking out more enemies. Mike's like one of our favorite weird little Resident Evil allies, and while this sequence only lasts 20 minutes, it's a high the Resident Evil series has never really replicated. For a few minutes, you really forget you're playing a horror game. Now at number 2, Dishonored is just so nice we had to put it on the list twice, man. Dishonored, the original one, also has one of the most fun levels in video game history. A level that we'll be talking about for years to come. We already haven't shut up about it, but Lady Boyle's last party is an assassination set during a beautiful, strange masquerade ball.
I'm sure he's just doing his job. A party like this, anyone might have crept in.
Should we gather for whiskey and cigars tonight? Chances are very good.
You'll have to explore the mansion and investigate everything to figure out which Lady Boyle is actually your true target. There are 3 women going by that name and they're all wearing masks at this masquerade ball. So you have to find the name of your target and figure out what they're wearing. And like all levels in this game, like there's a lot of different ways to do it. So once you get inside the mansion, which you have to do by stealing an invitation or hopping the fence or sneaking through the guard barracks, you're then free to walk around the party and explore. You can find information by bribing guests or by spying on your targets to learn some more. The mansion is full of all these cool hidden passageways and secrets, and if you don't want to do all that investigation stuff, you're perfectly allowed to just kill all 3 options.
Things have become so much better.
The target is definitely dead no matter what. One of the most evil things you can do is solve this mission non-lethally. A psycho in the party actually loves your target, Lady Boyle, so much that he'll imprison her secretly forever. And you can deliver the target to the cellar where the kidnapper is waiting by boat.
You'll never know how happy you've made me. Someday she'll learn to appreciate me. After all, she'll have her whole life.
It's a twisted, like messed up way to end this mission, but it just goes to show how much insane detail is here to really explore. And now down at number 1, the Super Gore Nest is like the culmination of everything we love about Doom Eternal. You know, the sticky, slimy aesthetic, it's on full display here as you explore this human city that's been like hellified by gross wall meat. It's one of the messiest, muckiest maps yet. You're gonna platform across bottomless pits and fight through arenas made completely out of just gore to reach the center. Before you can enter the gore nest proper, our favorite Doom guy actually has to get 3 keys. Stop me if you've heard this one before. So that kind of makes it like one of the more classic maps in the game. It's also the map where you get the awesome chain gun. This bullet chainsaw rips enemies apart with like a really good steady onslaught of ammo, and it looks incredible, it feels incredible, it's fun, even when the big enemies start showing themselves. So you fight swarms of enemies in these giant gross arenas across multiple levels of open air, former Earth like markets and other downtown type locations. It's really everything we wanted from a Doom sequel here, showing this hell invasion at its most gnarly. This level is just a classic shot of adrenaline and probably one of the more perfectly constructed stages in Doom Eternal. Those are 10 badass levels we can't stop thinking about. There are a ton more, plenty more missions and quests and locations in gaming that give us the cool guy goosebumps. So let us know your favorite. You definitely got your own choices. We can make a part 2 of this video, so hit us up.